The Chicago Bears have lost 5 straight games and now go ahead and play the Detroit Lions at home in Week 13. What is going on, y'all? Faiz Sports Talk back at it with another video talking, of course, some NFL to talk about the Chicago Bears, who at one point long ago were 5-1 and are now 5-6. Can you believe it? I certainly can't. But that is where we are. And you guys might have thought, Faiz, are you still going to be doing these pre-game, post-game videos? I mean, what's the hope right now? Well, listen, I told you guys this. Win, lose, or draw, I'm always going to be here. So don't worry about that. So yes, they will absolutely continue throughout the entire season. And here's what I'll say just quickly before I do get started. Look, folks, still got 5 games left. I'm not expecting a lot, but we still have football to be played, to be watched, and I'm grateful for football. That's where I'll stop, all right? So with that being said, if you're new to the channel, make sure to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you have not done so. Make sure you go ahead and follow me on my social media accounts. Links down below for my Twitter, my Instagram, all that good stuff. Reach out, ask questions, do what it is you got to do. Let's get into it. So let's start with the numbers like we always do. The Bears are 3-point favorites in this one. It's been a while since the Bears have been favorites, it feels like, but they are favorites in this one. I mentioned at home, 45-point over-under. And we have already faced the Lions once this season. It was in Week 1, the opening game. And we beat the Detroit Lions 27-23. If you guys recall, that was the DeAndre Swift drop game, basically, in which he dropped what would have been the potential game-winning touchdown. And the Bears came out victorious. Mitchell Trubisky was the quarterback for the Bears that game. And if you remember, that was the thrilling fourth quarter comeback. And he threw, 3 interceptions all in the fourth quarter. And yeah, the Bears reeled it off. So, Mitchell Trubisky is starting again. That has now been confirmed by head coach Matt Nagy. So, I did want to wait on who was going to be the starting quarterback before I made the video. So, now we have confirmation that it is going to be Mitchell Trubisky under center. So, look, folks, as far as, this matchup and my keys and stuff, look, the Detroit Lions, they're in flux right now. This is a team that is obviously not going to make the playoffs. This is a team that, I'm not saying they're tanking, but they've kind of waved the white flag on the year. They fired their head coach, Matt Patricia. They fired their GM, Bob Quinn. And anytime you do that, you're basically waving the white flag. Now, the Bears could also be doing that, soon, maybe this season. I think it's going to be after the season. So the Bears aren't far off from waving the white flag. But point is, the Detroit Lions are already there. So, again, the Lions aren't very good. We're not expecting much from the Detroit Lions. And they're also dealing with a lot of injuries. We don't know if Kenny Golladay is going to be available this week. I doubt it. They might get DeAndre Swift back. We still have to see. But overall, folks, we know this Lions team isn't going anywhere. They're not very good. We saw what happened on Thanksgiving against the Houston Texans. Deshaun Watson tore them up, just destroyed them, shredded them. And when we take a look at the fact that, the Bears haven't been playing good football, we're going up against a pretty soft opponent. Now, does that mean this is a guaranteed win? Absolutely not. If anything, the last 5 weeks have shown you that a win is very hard to come by. So I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is the level of competition from facing the Packers, from facing the Titans, from facing the Saints, it's come down significantly when you're talking about Detroit. Okay? So, as far as Detroit and, attacking them defensively, they're just bad against the run. They're bad pretty much, all over. But against the run, they really do suffer. You can certainly run on this team. And so David Montgomery, even though in Week 1, I believe he had about 60-plus rushing yards, I want to see him get going on the ground here and sort of use the ground game to attack. He had his best game of the year last week against the Packers, rushed over 100 yards. I want to see that again. So I'd like to hopefully get David Montgomery going. And we know, obviously, the elephant in the room is that Mitchell Trubisky, the one team he plays like an all-pro against is the Detroit Lions. He's just phenomenal against the Detroit Lions. I don't believe he's lost to them since his rookie year or ever. I have to double check on that. But Mitch is phenomenal against Lions. Okay, we know that. And so again, him starting over Nick Foles is an upgrade certainly against the Lions. I know he didn't play well last week again. The 2 interceptions, the fumble, but it still is an upgrade over Nick Foles because the offense still moved the football. And that's the one thing I do want to say. Even with all the turnovers last week, even with all that, the offense still looked better than it did with Nick Foles the prior weeks. And that's not an indictment on Nick Foles or a compliment on Mitchell Trubisky. And that is actually an indictment on Nick Foles. That's not a compliment on Mitchell Trubisky. And that's my point here is this offense is just so bad that even a little bit of an improvement and it looked so much better than it did before. So I expect the Bears to be able to move the football. You know, I expect Mitch to have a decent game. And like I said, I'd like to attack the Lions on the ground if I had my preference, obviously, because, again, you're scared of Mitchell Trubisky turning the football over. No, Detroit could put up points. They put up 23 points against our defense in week 1, and our defense did not look very good last week. So I could certainly see it happening again if our defense does not show up. But Matt Nagy called him out, called out the defense, which was ironic because the defense has been carrying him this entire season and for the last 2 seasons pretty much. But that's neither here nor there. And he called him out. Let's see if the defense responds. Let's see if they respond. Let's see what happens. So ultimately, when I take a look at everything, the Lions pretty much mailing in the season, firing their head coach and their GM, them not playing well, Matt Nagy knowing his job's on the line, this Bears a team playing an inferior opponent, Mitchell Trubisky playing well historically in his career against the Lions. All those things add up. And I have to go with the Bears to win this matchup. I do. They're at home. If their defense is even competent, I think the offense should be able to move the football. Again, nothing's a given with this team. Absolutely not, especially on the offensive end. But I do think the Bears can pull this one out here, folks, just because of the opponent. This is all about Detroit. There's nothing to do with the Bears and my confidence in the Bears. It's all about the Lions. Could the Lions win this game? Absolutely. They can. But I'm going to go with the Bears here. And I'm going to go with them to pull out another fairly close one. I'm going to go Bears 24, Lions 21. So there you have, folks, my prediction on the Bears game versus the Detroit Lions. Let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment down below if you agree with me or disagree with me. So 24-21, right on the line, actually. The line is 45 for the over-under, I should say. And, yeah, I'm going to go with that. And let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment down below if you agree. As always, thanks for watching.